Greetings everyone. Today I'd like to talk to you and share with you my experiences with this fountain pen. This is the Fountain Pen Revolution Himalaya in the saffron color. I purchased this pen from Fountain Pen Revolution, USA. And that's the bottom address on this index card. The parent company, I believe, is fountainpenrevolution.com. Fountain Pen Revolution is a company started by a gentleman by the name of Kevin in India. And Kevin, who is an American living in India, or lived in India, started this company in order to share with the world handmade Indian pens that are relatively inexpensive. And I think he's done a very good job of it. I've purchased several pens from Fountain Pen Revolution, and more recently he started another company based in the United States in Texas known as Fountain Pen Revolution USA, which is actually where this pen came from. Okay, thank you very much, Kevin, for doing that. I think you have very good e-business, and I will continue to support it. What about the pen? Well, again, the model is known as the Himalaya. Very similar to the Treveni Jr., which is sold directly from the fountainpenrevolution.com. And I'll talk to you about the details of the pen and give some comparisons and my thoughts on how well it writes. Okay, so by way of comparison, this is a relatively to the left of medium-sized pen. It's not a pocket pen necessarily. It's a good-sized pen. But you can see compared to an Ahab or compared to a Lamy Safari AL. And you can see I have a little bit of a sub-collection here of orange fountain pens. And that was one of the reasons why I got this saffron color. What about posted? Here we go. Next to the Lamy Safari. Alright, what about the dimensions in centimeters? Posted, this pen is almost exactly 15 centimeters in length. Capped, this pen is 13.5 centimeters. Uncapped, this pen is 12.5 centimeters. So you can see it's, again, a medium-sized pen, maybe to the left a little bit of medium. But fits very well in the hand. Posted, unposted, even then, the size of the pen barrel is pretty good if you want to use it just to jot a note. These are handmade Indian pens, and this material is acrylic, but is very well threaded. In fact, the threads on these guys, just like most of the other Indian pens that I have, are very deep and also very precise. I said just now that these were handmade pens. Actually, I have to confirm that. These might be mass-produced acrylic bodies, but I'll find out and post that on another video. Okay, so a little bit about the construction of the pen. You can see it has a nice flat top plain finial. The end of the barrel is semi-domed. I don't know if you can see that. The clip is a very nice clip. Perfect tension. The height of the clip on top of the cap, I think, is very well thought out. It's not too high, not too low. The shape of the clip has a little bit of a teardrop at the bottom, just perfect for putting in your pocket. The cap has a silver band. The silver band is all the way to the end, instead of being banding that exposes the end of the plastic and is risen or brought up on top of the cap. And I don't have an example right now, but the Ahab, for instance, has the same design where the band covers the entire bottom of the posted cap of the cap. And I prefer that, actually. I think it looks a lot nicer, and it probably imparts a better rigidity and strength to the end of the cap to prevent breaking. Imprinted on that band is inscript FPR. I'm not sure if you can see that. It stands for Fountain Pen Revolution in a font that looks characteristic of the FPR website's symbol. What about this pen? I ordered this pen. It came just a few days later from, I believe, Plano, Texas, which is a suburb of Dallas. The pen was relatively inexpensive. I believe it was $34 if I remember correctly. I'll check that. I also ordered at the same time 2 extra nibs. The nib that came originally with the pen is a 2-tone gold and silver medium, and then I purchased the fine and the extra fine all silver chrome. And what I have on here is the extra fine. Okay, received the pen, inked it up, and it wrote right away. And I was very impressed with that. And I have not had any hard starts with this pen. It flows very well. I changed the nib to the extra fine, same thing. Writes very well. I'm very pleased with it. And when pens write right out of the box without even being rinsed, I think that's a good sign that the people who made the pen paid attention to how well it's going to perform. Pens are only as good as they perform and how well they write. This one passes with flying colors. So I'll give a little bit of a writing sample. This is on a 3x5 index card, so you probably know the quality of the paper. And the smoothness of the nib for an extra fine nib is actually pretty good. And I inked this with Waterman's Serenity Blue, the Boy Scout of inks, and it is indeed very well behaved ink in this pen. The Himalaya model comes in other colors, and there we go. The other colors are on the website. I picked this one because I like the design and the swirls. It was relatively conservative. It has sort of a pearlescent look to it. Alright, what about the mechanism and the reservoir? This is a cartridge converter pen, but there's something unique about it. This pen uses a piston type converter. And for those who know anything about this type of piston pump converter, I originally came across a similar piston pump converter on the Noodlers Ahab series of pens. And I believe that was perhaps a Noodler's invention. See here, it's a piston pump mechanism. Screws right into the back of the section in feed, and it has a small breather tube in it. And it's also a little bit bigger. In fact, the Noodler's piston pump converter is right at about 10 millimeters in diameter. The Himalaya, or the Fountain Pen Revolution, piston pump converter is a little narrower. It's about 7.4 millimeters. It also doesn't have a feeder tube, but it works very well. I was very impressed. And it unscrews. You can refill it directly, or you can screw it on and refill it through the nib. Let me knock that down. This way. Okay, I haven't had any leakage issues. I've found that this pen has really good flow after not even having to prime it. So I've been very impressed. And the piston rod itself is actually solid. And the piston rod on the Ahab is hollow and holds more ink. That's okay. This holds just the right amount of ink. Perhaps the same or a little bit more than a standard international cartridge, small cartridge. Okay. Well, I think that about does it for my sharing with you the Fountain Pen Revolution Himalaya. Very nice pen, very reliable pen, no hard starts, good price. If you email Kevin at Fountain Pen Revolution and with any of your any questions, he'll get right back to you. It's been really good internet response, and I appreciate that. So, if you get a Himalaya, enjoy your pen. Bye bye.